April 23rd. Today.
Hi everyone. Here I am. It's Lorelei here, and thank you for being here right now tonight. I'm sorry if I was a little bit late. You can see I have wet hair. It's Sunday. Originally I wanted to do this 2 hours later, giving myself enough time, but I know that it's late on the East Coast, and so I wanted to start a little earlier for those of you on the East Coast. So I'm a little after 5, but anyway, I just got out of the ocean. It's a beautiful day. The ocean was 62 degrees, and I like it at 68, so it was a little on the cool side. But I'm really excited to be here with you, and I'm just really glad I got my swim in. Some of you have been joining me on my 30-day cleanse for rock solid lifestyle to get ready for summer. And as you might have seen yesterday, I went in the ocean this year for the first time. And so today I went in for the second time. So I'm really excited. The water, the ocean, it just sort of, that salt water, it just cleanses me and invigorates me. And so now I can be here for you. I see lots of you guys are joining in, and what I'd like to do tonight is take some time to read your questions. They're coming in really fast, so I don't know if I'll be able to catch them all. But I wanted to let you know that I'm sitting in my, what I call my ashram, and this is my puja altar. This is the room where I do my meditation and prayer, and so I thought this would be a really great room to be sitting in while we are honoring our dearly beloved Steve Clark, who today would have been 57 years old. I can't even believe it. I don't know what he would have looked like. I don't know what he would have felt like. Hopefully, you know, that'll always be a mystery, but we do know what he was like when he was here in his lifetime and in our lifetime. And I'm really grateful that I got to have that time with Steve, and I'm really grateful that you guys have loved him and held the flame for him for so long. So now I see lots of hearts and lots of love, and I'm loving you right back. I don't know if some of you caught today I put together a YouTube video with some original footage that I shot on the Hysteria tour, and I can't remember where we were in that when Steve and Phil were doing the the throwing up scene. Was very funny, and that was the kind of thing that those guys used to do backstage when they, you know, had time to kill, because there was a lot of hours sitting around back there between arrival, sound check, crew meal, and then going on stage. So that was just one of the luckier outtakes that I was able to catch, because what I mentioned in the subtext of the YouTube video was that back then it wasn't the selfie generation. Everybody didn't have iPhones, and I was the only one walking around with a camera, and I had this VHS camera that Steve had bought me, and it was that big that it was on my shoulder, so it was pretty obvious when I brought that thing into the room. And the band, everybody hated it. It was like, get that thing out of here. Why'd you bring that? I remember one time Steve saying, I knew I shouldn't have bought you that, you know, because I was bothering everyone. But hell, I've got the footage now, and they don't. And so, you know what? Here we go. So I got to share that little piece today with you that nobody has seen. Phil hasn't even seen that. So if anybody wants to send that to Phil Collin, the band hasn't seen it. Nobody's seen it. Not even my best friend Cindy Glockler hadn't seen it until today, and she was laughing. So I hope you enjoy that YouTube little video, and I put that on my new YouTube channel. And so please go and subscribe. Even if you never watch my channel ever again, it would be great if you could subscribe, because that helps us keep the message and keep the love alive and the beauty in the world, and whatever I can do to share my loving, my gifts, and my expression of love with you. Okay, so recognize the shirt. I think you guys have seen this shirt before. I still have this shirt. Obviously, you've seen pictures of Steve wearing this shirt, but I get to wear it because I gave it to him. So I still have it and I still wear it. I mean, it's a vintage shirt. We bought this shirt, I don't know, 30 years ago. And so that makes it vintage, even if it were brand new at the time. But when we bought it, it was already vintage. So, and I can't remember where we bought this. I think we probably bought it at the Aardvark in Hollywood on Melrose back in the 80s when we used to come here to LA, and we would go shopping on Melrose where all the cool rock clothes were. And but this we found in the Aardvark for sure. Yeah, as I recall. So I'm going to get closer to the camera so that I can read some of the questions or some of the things that you're saying, and I'd like to try to answer some of those for you. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked the video, and I love you too. And everyone's saying hi. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Karen. Tammy. Yes, I know. We do. Donna Monk. It's great to see you. Patty Brown. What's that in the video? Wasn't what in the video? Congratulations. Ah! What's your favorite picture of Steve? People in Brazil. What's your favorite memory of you and Steve? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's see. What's my favorite picture of Steve? You know, I think my favorite pictures of Steve are the ones Ross Halfin took backstage, which are in the video behind the piano where I kind of screenshot across where we were in. They were recording Hysteria, and we were at Whistle Lord Studios in Holland, and Ross Halfin came to do a photo shoot, and I just happened to go pick Steve up, and Steve said, come on in here, let's get some pictures. Ross said he'd take some pictures of us together, and so we were sitting on his guitars on top of their cases, but that's how skinny we were. We could get away with that, and those are the pictures where he's holding me, and I'm looking up at him, and yeah, those are my favorite pictures. Ross Halfin's amazing, so of course, you know, he got some great pictures, and I was really lucky to get those. You know, as far as my best memory, can you just hold right there? You guys just hold. I knew I'd forget something. Oh, it takes a lot to get ready for these things. And today's Sunday, so yeah, okay. So a lot of you have read Runway Runaway, and I really appreciate you guys being interested in the story and learning more about Steve. I know you bought the book because you wanted to know about Steve and didn't realize you were going to have to learn about me too. But anyway, that's kind of the way the book came out. It became a book that it wanted to be, instead of a book totally about Steve Clark, and that was because of the influence of other people that were involved in the making of the book. So anyway, my favorite memory of Steve was chapter 16, A Glamorous Life, which is taken from that song, that Prince song, and I think it was Sheila E. that sang it, Glamorous Life, where I tell the story. Okay, so this is when I get the phone call from Peter Mensch, who was the band's manager, and he said to me that he wanted me to entertain two of his band members in Paris because they were coming to Paris for 2 weeks and they didn't know their way around and everything like that. And I didn't really know them. I had been invited to their shows, but I hadn't really gone. I was busy and I wasn't really sure what kind of music they played. And I kind of knew what Peter's bands were like because he also managed the Scorpions, and I wasn't really big on them. So I was hesitant. But because Peter Mensch was a friend of mine, I said that I would do that. And I enlisted Valerie, my roommate, in that with me. And so in The Glamorous Life, chapter 16, I write about this phone call and then try to convince Valerie to come. And of course, Valerie was busy doing something else, and I had to really twist her arm to go with me. And my favorite memory was the moment that I laid eyes on Steve, not knowing who to expect at the door and not expecting anything, just kind of feeling a little bit put off that this was sort of an obligation, that I had to do this thing. And so let me just read you a little of that. Okay. Our buzzer rang right on time, and Phil's British accent came blasting through the intercom. I buzzed them up to our 4-story walk-up, and they made their way up the Tudor-style wooden circular staircase. Our apartment was an old artist's atelier with slanted wood-beam ceilings and leaded glass windows that opened up over a very narrow street called the Rue Boudet. It provided a wonderful but perhaps unwelcome glimpse into the neighbors' apartments. It was a 2-story apartment with a petite loft bedroom overlooking the living room, with a massive open stone fireplace that held a warm winter fire. I opened the door to discover a chipper blonde man smiling at me. "Hello, I'm Phil. Remember me?" We had met before at Steve Strange's flat in London. I said, "Oh yeah, you were with Mensch and his girlfriend, right?" "Ah, that's right," he said, and I pointed him up the stairs where Valerie was waiting. Following quietly behind him was Steve. Or should I say it was a ray of light? I don't know, but he glowed. In fact, I couldn't help noticing that a bright light shone all around him, wrapping itself like a firewire from his ankles up around his knees and continuing all the way up around his golden blonde hair and down the other side. This illumination reminded me of the shimmering halo of an angel. I felt a chill, followed by an adrenaline rush, and I attempted to hide that behind my smile. We just stood there for a moment and beamed at each other until we found our voices and introduced ourselves. He was literally lurking around the corner, like he wouldn't even come up to the door. I had to sort of coax him up. He was so shy. And I just remember this energy that I saw. It was like a peacock spreading its feathers. And we just stumbled for a moment, and he said, "Hello, I'm Steve." And I said, "I'm Lorelei." And I said, "Well, come on in." And thank you, Iggy. Iggy. Yeah, that was, for me, the most memorable moment. Okay, Iggy, thank you. So, okay, Iggy, stop. All right, so I hope that answers your question. Yes, he did have an aura. Yes. Iggy, come here. He's back, yeah. What's your favorite song written by Steve? Oh, Love Bites. Definitely Love Bites, because there's a story about that too, which is also in that book, but I'm not going to read you that. But the song Love Bites, because it had to do with a fight that we were having in the moment. He was off writing it instead of being in Paris with me when I was having my big debut at Saint Laurent, and I was really bummed out that he wasn't coming, and he felt really bad. And so the next day he showed up with this little cassette with this demo of Love Bites on it, and a bouquet of red long stem roses and lots of apologies, and how could I be mad? So Love Bites. Yeah, thank you, Donna. I love it too. Okay, so now I'm not seeing any questions. Yeah, hi Jenny. What is the story behind Phil and Steve's kiss? I love that pic. Well, Phil and Steve were always goofing. They were just always goofing. That's why they called them the Terror Twins. I mean, the stuff those two guys would get up to just to keep themselves entertained, it was adorable. We would go shopping and they would buy matching clothes, but in different colors. Like I have a jacket, a blue striped jacket that Steve had bought, and Phil bought the exact same jacket, but in burgundy. So they had these matching jackets, and so, you know, they were always just getting up to things like that, just to want what Steve would say, just wind people up. They would just wind each other up, and so the kiss was obviously a joke. So that's what that was. I mean, I also have, I don't know if you've ever seen the pictures of the sombreros. When on the Hysteria tour, we arrived in San Diego, and my family lived in San Diego, and they were playing in San Diego. So I took Steve down to Old Town in San Diego, and we bought these big sombreros. And we took him to the show. And so Phil saw him, and Steve and Phil said, you know, we should wear these when we go out on the finale. So when it was time for the encore, out comes Steve and Phil wearing these big sombreros, matching sombreros. I still have those. I don't know what to do with them, but I have a hard time parting with those things. One day I'm going to part with them. I'm hoping to. Anyway, any other questions? Oh yeah, he had a favorite cologne. Well, it was my favorite cologne. And it was called Vetiver, and it was by Guerlain. And I just loved that scent, and so I bought it for him, and he wore it for me. Craziest things that we did together. Well, one of the things I remember, and I can't remember if I wrote this in the book, but we were on vacation in Sardinia, staying with some friends of ours, and of course it was the 80s and it was crazy, and we were out discoing, dancing all night long, and the next morning we had a 6 a.m. flight back to Paris or something like that. So instead of going to bed and getting up and trying to drive all the way to the airport, what we did was we drove our rent-a-car to the airport at about 2 in the morning and just parked it in the parking lot, and then we leaned the seats back and tried to sleep until it was time to get up to go and get our flights. And so I guess I had an alarm clock or something, so this alarm goes off and we wake up, and Steve looks at me and I look at him, and he starts the car and starts driving the car, but forgets to move his seat up. So he's back here with the steering, you know, trying to see and wondering why he can't see over the, you know, through the window. And it was so funny, we just laughed our heads off. I said, Steve, you might want to pull your seat up. So that was kind of a crazy thing. I don't know. That's what comes to mind when you ask that question. How was Steve with his fans? Was he shy, and did he like meeting them? He was shy. But he was very considerate, and he never wanted to let anybody down. So he would, you know, if he met his fans, or if it was his turn to meet the fans, then he would gladly do that and do whatever he could to make them happy. Oh, Beverly. Hi, Beverly. Iggy, come here. Come here. So, you know what, you guys? I'm not seeing any more questions here. If you could say one thing right now to Steve, what would it be? Oh my God, it's so good to see you again. That's what I would say. It is so good to see you again. So listen, guys, I thought for now, you know, I'd show you some stuff that you haven't seen. So this suitcase, can you see this suitcase here? Let me see. Let me see if I can tilt the camera down. Can you see this? Okay, so this suitcase was the suitcase that I gave him one year for Christmas. It's a Halliburton, doesn't have wheels. doesn't go on your back. It's pretty darn heavy, but they called them road cases, and all the rock stars had them, but Def Leppard didn't have them because they were too young and they didn't know much. And so I bought him this, and when Steve saw this, he couldn't believe it. In fact, he got tears in his eyes. He said, I can't believe, he said, nobody's ever bought me anything like this before. And he was so proud of it. He loved it so much. And so this thing went on tour with him. And I thought I'd open it up and show you some things that are inside of it. And I'm wondering if you can, uh-oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's lots of goodies in here. And I want to get this so that you can actually see what's in it. Oh, sorry, gang. Oh, this isn't going to work. I wish I had a camera person. Oh, wait. There, you can see it. Okay, is that all right, you guys? Cool, okay. Simon Gill. That's a name from the past. Okay, so you guys can see the suitcase now, right? Okay. So let's see what kind of treasures are inside of here. Oh, well, this is just fabrics and things that I had bought and used to make scarves for him for tour clothes and things like that. Let's see. Here's his little shorts. Can you believe how tiny those are? I'm sure you've seen Rick Allen wear these shorts a bazillion times. And I think there's a picture of Steve wearing these and the whole band wearing these. It's in some place, but I don't know where. But yep, he didn't get a lot of wear out of those. It wasn't one of his favorite things to wear. I was going to use it on a jacket or something. Here's a pair of his jeans. And they have a really big hole in the back. So I had patched the knees for him a couple of times, but eventually when this thing happened in the back, I said, okay, that's going to become a jean jacket or it's going to be something else. So that's just some of his old jeans. What else have we got in here? Okay, so here we have a little Steve doll. Now this was sent to Steve by a fan in Japan back in the 80s. So this little Steve doll has been around for quite a long time. And it's got a little guitar necklace, a gold necklace like what he had, and of course his scarf and a guitar pick that somebody had sent, a guitar pick. So there's that. And then I want to share this that was sent to me recently. Oh, and I have another one of these. Unfortunately, it's not in here. It's in the other room, and I would have to run and get it. But isn't that adorable? Thank you for sending that. And oh, we have a Def Leppard cap. These are all never worn. You will not find these at Forever 21. What else is this? Oh. There's some new stuff in here. It's a slang shirt. I love these slang t-shirts. Oh, this is one of Steve's tank tops that he used to wear with his red, white, and blue American flag shorts. And of course, here's the boots from Armageddon. Armageddon boots. Here's the other one. So that's that. And then these were his favorite, what he used to call his German soldier boots. They went up to his knees and they looked so cool on him. Oh, and someone posted a picture of him in that black leather jacket, and he would wear it with these with that black leather jacket. Oh, and it looked so amazing. So ahead of his time. So that's those. So that's what's in this half. Excuse me. I knew I should have got some water. And then over here, just a few things on this side. Oh, where is everything? Hang on. I thought there were going to be a bunch of t-shirts over here. This is mostly my stuff. Oh, here's one of his Hawaiian shirts. He really was into those Hawaiian shirts. And I think there's some pictures floating around of him wearing this shirt when we were in Antigua. And what else have we got in here? Oh, I've just got some new Def Leppard shirts. Most of this stuff that I have, all these Def Leppard original tour shirts and things like that, are in storage because I can't keep that all here. It's all locked up in a safe place. And then here's another one of his stage scarves. The red roses. You see that? If anybody can find pictures of him wearing this, I'll send you a book. What else? Oh, well, this is a recent picture because this has Vivian in it. Does everybody have one of these? I love this. I used to wear that for pajamas. And then, oh, these are just runaway t-shirts. And, oh, the tour bag. Steve's Leather Road tour bag. And it says 7/11/88, #1 with a bullet. I wonder who made those. There's a zipper in here, I'll show you. On the inside. It's probably backwards because the camera's backwards. So anyway, yeah. So that's what I've got here. I mean, there's other stuff, but if I show you everything now, then what am I going to do next year? I'm starting to run out of ideas for you guys because I like to give you something that you haven't already seen. So I'm going to just put that away for a moment. Oh. And I'm going to bring down the candle. So, thanks you guys. Thank you so much for loving him. And whatever joy that he gave you, or whatever joy you get from listening to the band and listening to the music, hold on to that. And when you're feeling blue or you're feeling depressed, just throw on some old Def Leppard and start dancing. And don't be blue, because Steve is always here with you. And wow, I don't know, just stay tuned. So why don't we say a little prayer? I've already got my candle lit, but maybe you guys would like to light yours in this moment. And we'll just calling in the Father, Mother, God, and Ascended Masters, angels, saints, and those surrounding Steve. Steve, wherever you are, we're all here united together in your memory, and we are so grateful for the part that you have played in all of our lives. We wish we could have had you here longer, but your journey is your journey, Iggy, honey, you're in the camera. Come over here. You want to pray? Come over here and pray. Come on. You want to pray? Come here. Come here. Iggy likes to pray. We're just so grateful. And we are happy in your memory. God bless. Everyone, take care of yourselves so that you can then take care of others. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I appreciate it. I appreciate your hearts, your love, your loyalty, your friendship, your love of music and dogs. And yeah, that's it. Keep in touch. Keep in touch. I'm here for you. Love you. Bye-bye.
On behalf of myself and all of